Welcome back, folks, to more Dishonored. The Hound Pit's Pub. Hidden in an old bar on the river, your new allies have plans to share with you. Meet with the loyalist inner circle and learn what they've got in mind.
This is the Hound Pit's Pub, closed for business, half the district marked off as dead from the plague. We're right under the Lord Regent's nose, and he don't know a thing. Of course, if anyone finds out what we're up to, the Watch will break in with swords drawn. And now that you've escaped, the Lord Regent's going to be tearing the city apart. Take you up to meet Admiral Havelock and the rest of the loyalists. The Admiral's a man to be reckoned with. If anyone can help you find that missing girl, Lady Emily, and clear your name, he can.
Mission clues updated. Samuel the boatman has smuggled you across the river from Coldridge Prison. He works for an underground movement opposed to the illegal reign of the Lord Regent, and has brought you to meet the members of the organization. Holy shit, this water looks like poop stain. Coin. Objectives, notes, books, audiographs, key rings, oh cool, gadgets, ammunition, upgrades, mission clue, mission items. Now we'll be trying to show where many of the secret hidden items are. I'm not going to be scouring the surface of everything and of course finding every single little coin. This is more or less just a straight walkthrough slash playthrough, beginning to end. But the more rare items, of course, I'll probably try my best to seek out and find, if I'm aware of them. I don't want to sit here and jump between a walkthrough and in the game. I want to kind of just play it as fluid as possible. The other thing is I don't have the strategy guide, so it's Cape of Teeth map. Excerpt from a book of the far continent Pandacea. At the Academy of Natural Philosophy, they speak of the Pandacean continent as a place of wonder, where all of life has entwined and blossomed across aeons, producing a vibrant ecology unrivaled in the civilized world. The overseers from the Abbey of Everyman, by contrast, talk of horror and heresies, of cults of submen engaged in brutal, perverse rituals. The few who have traveled to the far continent and come back to the Isles, those who have actually touched the soil there, have returned with notes that describe vast deserts, deep jungles, and outlandish creatures that defy belief. Once in a generation, a great effort is mounted to build a colony there, in hopes of this someday growing into a port city to rival Dunwall itself. But to date, these attempts have all ended in madness and failure. Break shit! Now, when I say that I'm not going to scour the area for every little nook and cranny, that means I'm not going to you know, sit here and stare at a fucking brick wall for ages upon ages. However, if I see an item glinting in the distance, like I do there, then of course I'm going to try to figure out how to get to it.
Attention all citizens. Curfew extends from sundown to sunrise unless you are otherwise authorized. Violators will be subject to interrogation and detained when necessary. Remember,
I don't know if I can get up there.
The measures are the safest.
There we go. It looks like these items are just worth coinage toward your end score, I guess. I'm not sure if we'll actually get to use them to make anything. Guess we'll find out. Big jug of whiskey that I wasted a crossbow on.
I expect they're hard at work in there. Best join them. They'll help you get whoever really killed the Empress. I'm sure the Admiral is anxious to meet you. It wasn't easy getting you here.
You serious? I can kill this guy? I'm not going to do that. Although that's interesting.
We found our man. Even after 6 months in Cold Ridge Prison, he slipped out.
We can continue this later, Lord Pendleton. The man of the hour is here. Corvo, I'm Admiral Havelock. A true servant of the Empire, like you. Until the Lord Regent purged those of us who wouldn't recognize his claim on the throne.
And I'm Lord Trevor Pendleton. I represent the nobility in our little group. But we all act as equals here at the Hound Pit's pub.
This is a momentous occasion, Corvo. I'm going to come out with it. We've been building a coalition of loyalists, aimed at ending the Lord Regent's tyranny and restoring the throne.
At risk of execution, we're committed to finding young Lady Emily and seeing her crowned as Empress.
We've got big plans, but we can't do any of it without you. We need your skills, your ability in a fight, and in helping us, we're going to help you destroy the men who murdered the Empress.
Sorry, you must be exhausted. We can discuss this further after you've recovered. But before you retire, you should introduce yourself to Piero. He's challenging at times, but his industrious mind buys him that right.
Yes, Piero's as much an artist as a technician. He's going to be crafting the gear you'll need. Go talk to him, and then get some sleep. We can talk more when you've rested.
Sounds groovy. Can I get a drink? Oops. Oh, well, drink your beer, punk. Oh, I like the smoke effects.
Good to have you with us, Corvo. Nothing against the other.
Well, this is certainly interesting. Unbreakable door. Processed whale oil. More processed whale oil. So as you can see, there's much more to the surrounding area that you can actually explore.
Attention Dunwall citizens. Be advised, the river crust infestation has spread downriver, as far as the river mouth and flooded district. Do not attempt to approach or destroy a river crust. Any items recovered from doing so are considered state property.
I definitely love the atmosphere. It definitely gives me that feeling of kind of like a Half-Life setting with a little Arcanum feeling to it. Swords and guns. As soon as I see that steampunk, I automatically feel like I'm in something of an Arcanum type world. Definitely has that feeling. All kinds of coins there.
Attention Dunwall citizens. Lady Emily Caldwin was abducted 6 months ago during her mother's terrible murder. Anyone with information leading to the location or return of the daughter of our beloved late Empress is required to speak to the City Watch at once.
There's Piero. Hello, baby.
My, you must be Corvo. I am Lydia, at your service. Your room is upstairs and ready.
God
When
damn,
told
you
me
are
who it
ugly.
well, I thought you'd...
As I say to you, brothers, it is here that we make our stand as a righteous force against the growing darkness. It is here that we unite against the spirits of the unknown that would drag us screaming into the night, never to return to our homes, to our families. Together we will serve as a rod to those who stray from the herd, for the foggy grey waste of the outsider. We will burn a bright fire with our virtuous actions, so that others will not lose their way. And to those who choose to wander beyond the walls of our homes in far places, we will strike at them swiftly before they whisper to their neighbors, filling their hearts with strangeness and doubt.
Like the Admiral.
Bitch, you're still talking? Get out of here. God damn it, I gotta do it. I gotta do it.
Attention.
A loyalist conspiracy is dissolved. Damn. Alright. Well, cut a maid's throat and the game ends. Cool that they give you the option. The other cool thing is they save exactly where you save. What will we do with the drunken whaler? What will we do with the drunken whaler? What will we do with the drunken whaler? Early in the morning, feed him to the hungry rats for dinner. Feed him to the hungry rats for dinner. Feed that motherfucker to the rats for dinner. Early in the morning. Way, hey, and up she rises. Up she rises. Up she rises. Way, hey, up she rises. Early in the morning. That's exactly how they wanted you to sing that song. If you fuck that song up, you're a loser. Now you find me another LP on YouTube where the motherfuckers sing the songs out of the books. That's right. Ain't gonna happen. After more than a quarter century, I am done with whaling. Too broken to continue, I have seen all corners of the Isles and made more coin than most men see in a lifetime, but it's all I've gone. I've lived as an emperor and watched his daughter take the throne. Fair young empress she was, but slain so young. Everything beautiful comes to die. I've eaten at every port of the known world and sailed to the loneliest waters you could imagine. I've seen cliffs around Pandacia. Even the best of it doesn't give me an ounce of joy. The years come back across my dreams as a line of butchered bodies, long, sleek, and singing among the waves under the moonlight, only to be speared by the ugly, weather-scarred men who knife each other for a good pair of boots. Each year I've had less time to come home. My tongue forgot the language of small chatter, and those who lived in the cities thought me odd. My sister Nina hardly knew what to say to me during our visits. When she lost her business to the Lord Regent's crooked barrister, I was 100 miles east of Morlaix, gaff-hand frozen from the sleet as we tracked the first bull whale we've seen in months. I helped her as much as I could, but Nina died in the early days of the plague. None of it's mattered. If I'm jaded and bitter, it's because this industry has taken away my dreams, and the world has beaten me.
Log entry 1-4. Seems we've moved to a new phase. Martin's improvisations have borne fruit. The former bodyguard has been freed and is en route to the staging location. Pendleton's voting block and my military connections. All we've lacked is the ability to project lethal force in a controlled manner against a previously inaccessible... to the point, we need a man who can kill the bastards for us. Corvo is more than capable of that, I have no doubt. N-Ball. Is this off? Switch. Where the hell is that?
It has been days since our men were dispatched to stash weapons for Corvo in the old sewer. They have not returned, so I can only hope they succeeded in getting the packages delivered. Piero spent considerable time and resources making those things. If I could find a way to mass-produce them, the Dunwall Navy would secure its place as a dominant force on the globe. But back to Corvo. Can he actually break out of Coldridge, and if so, will he make his way here? I personally give him the odds of 1 in 5. While in each isle has some form of naval fleet, none is more envied than that of Gristal, with its long, proud history of great ships, and the admirals who command them. Boys come in age in the cities of Gristal hoping to someday captain such a ship. A family dynasties are made by captains who track down infamous pirates or crush seditious uprisings during Morlaix insurrection. In times of war or peace, Gristal continues to innovate at sea. The ship designs of Anton Sokolov himself now represent the highest standard in the whaling trade, allowing crews to haul their kill up over the deck and begin their butchery and processing. Even as the ship returns to Dunwall, the crews can be seen working on their latest whale as the ship moves slowly up the Rinhaven River, coming to dock with one of the powerful warehouse companies such as Greaves Whaling House. Suspended in rigging overhead and backlit by setting sun, the silhouette of one of these creatures making a moving sight as it cruises to find its final resting place in the industrial heart of the capital city. A Gaffer's Tale, Volume 1, or A Gaffer's Early Adventures. My sister Nina and I left Tevia together, saying goodbye to our aunt, the woman who had raised us since childhood, leaving behind the home of Yarrow in the cold, but beautiful white landscapes we had always known. We boarded a ship for Dunwall. Our parents had left us with a sizable inheritance, and we spent half of this getting to the capital city and establishing a small import shop dedicated to diving and furs. Once I helped Nina to establish the business, I was free to pursue my dreams. Signing on with a whaling ship was the most exciting thing I've ever done, and I saw it means to an end. Someday I would captain my own crew and eventually own a fleet of similar vessels. With tears in her eyes, Nina kissed me farewell, and I did not see her again for many months. As an apprentice to the gaffer, I got to the tracking and killing of great beasts up close. Nothing had ever fired up my spirit so, and as the wind and pounding waves racing after our wounded whale began pulling off the skein of cables embedded in its thick flesh, I changed more in those first 7 months than I had in the previous 7 years. Whaling was beginning to put its mark on me, so that Nina barely recognized me when I returned, tanned, sinewy with muscle, weather creased already wrinkling the corner of my eyes. But she could see that I was filled with joy, having found my purpose. Well, all kinds of documentation in this room. So, this guy's quite the captain. Quite the captain indeed.
If I may, I am the personal assistant to Lord Pendleton, and one of the senior servants at Pendleton House, as was my father. Now I am entrusted with this house, the home of the loyalists. I have never seen the Admiral fail at any venture. If order can be restored to the city of Dunwall, I believe he can do it. If anyone can get your old life back, it's him.
Ugly maid! Up here in the attic. We can even go out there, it looks like. Ah! Great, you stick me up here in the musty attic. Appreciate it. Wait a minute, what are you doing in my quarters?
The Admiral served in the Navy under the Empress. But something happened with the Lord Regent that drove the Admiral out. If I understand it right.
Holy shit. Why are all the women in this game so horrible looking? Medicinal herbs. Yes, I could use some of those at this point. I like that there's a lot of places to explore. There's definitely a feeling of linearity to most of these games, but they've done a great job of kind of giving you diversions and other things so that you don't feel quite so locked into one pathway. For instance, check this out. Who knows if this is even needed? Holy shit. Hope you guys are ready for more reading. I'm gonna need a drink. Alright, let's read some bookery. The Fuge Fest. At the end of every year, after the last day of the month of songs, we begin the Fuge Feast. The new year has not started, and thus the time that follows an outside of the calendar. A period of celebration and feasting begins, during which the people abandon the very practices that keep them whole and healthy over the year. Many leave their homes euphoric with spirits of potent herbs. Some paint their faces or wear a mask to conceal themselves as they pursue their passions without reservation. When the right cosmological signs are observed and it's time for the calendar to begin anew, the sitting high overseer calls for the hymn of atonement, and the Fuge Feast ends. Families return to their homes, wives to their husbands, bitches to their house, and men to their groves. Enemies put down their weapons, and fires are extinguished. No complaint is given for those who have wronged others, deviated from ancient codes, or discarded oaths. For this time during the astrological alignment does not exist and is not recorded. The following day starts the new year, marked on the first day of the month of Earth, as it has always been. Did I just say bitches return to their hoes? Yes. Powdered crystal. This game is making me want to do drugs. Once a child shows the proper inclination, he is marked. Overseers are assigned to the study of subjects surreptitiously in order to determine whether the inclination is supported by cosmological conditions and other signs ongoing throughout the year. At the end of the cycle, those befitted further testing are removed from their homes some hours before dawn, and must begin the march to an outpost outside the city. There, the children undergo ritual preparation and evaluation until the last night of the month of rain, when they make a pilgrimage to Whitecliff. During an elaborate ceremony, it is determined which of the children will become overseers, and which of those little bitches must be put down. I read something like that already. Stupid doll! My stomach twisted as the engines of the odd vessel roared louder. It was the creation of Orchado, third perfect from the Academy of Natural Philosophy. He was exhilarated, savoring each of the small craft's utilations. Orchado pulled a lever and a great gout of smoke surrounded us. The smell of burning whale oil grew unbearable as the machine propelled itself upward. I was too afraid to look through the window, which suddenly didn't feel thick enough. As if knowing my thoughts, Overseer Bryn looked at me and smiled. Recite some of my litany, my pupil. It will protect your heart from the turpitude of the void on our way to the outer spheres. That's a long fall. I'm not okay with that. You got issues. Yep, that's right. Make sure you double check all your areas. There are coins lying about everywhere. I'm not picking up every coin. To hell with this. Let's go talk to Perio. So Perio. Oh, what's this? Inchmouth decor plate. Whoa, that's worth 100. I guess it's okay to rob your fellow man here.
My furnishings have been installed at last with no small amount of complaining by that antiquated boatman. The others have no idea what it's like to suffer as I have. Speaking of which... Wallace! Please breathe 2 bottles of Dunwall Red, never mind which, and fetch a clean glass. Well, I'll begin again tomorrow.
Pleased to meet you, Master Corvo. I saw you at court in happier days, but you might not remember. I was once a close ally to the Lord Regent, Hiram Burroughs, back when he was just the spy master. He's one manipulative bastard, I can tell you that. There's something distinguished about you, Corvo. Was there nobility back in your family line? I wouldn't be surprised.
They call me Sure Shake a Lot, because I am sure to shake you. Don't turn your back on me, that's all I can say. I like stabbing maids in the neck.
Log entry 1-4.
Yeah, I listened to this shit already.
Martin's improvisations have borne fruit. The former bodyguard has been freed and is moved to the staging location. Pendleton's voting block in my book.
What is this, like a fucking 12-story house? Jesus.
I'll be crafting your weapons and gear. All custom work. For you, I will create the tools of the master assassin.
You are my new best friend.
No! This cannot happen now. The tank of whale oil is running. Will you get a new tank from upstairs, please, while I hold this in place? Be careful. The oil's unstable. When it explodes, there's a terrible mess.
That's good to know. Sokolov. That's how I'm pronouncing that. One of the advantages of the Sokolov technologies is the way they share the same magnetic socket for the tanks of processed whale oil that they use as fuel. When a tank is exhausted, another can be plugged in its place with ease, and the process is simple enough that any common workman or even lower guardsman of the City Watch can handle the task. This applies to the arc pylon of the Wall of Light security systems, as well as the powered carriage is used for transport by those few who are wealthy enough to afford them. The only obvious downside of Sokolov's designs is the volatility of the tanks themselves. They blow the fuck up! A few incidents have occurred, resulting in damage to property or bodily harm whenever one of the tanks is exploded. You know, things like people's limbs flying off of their bodies. It is, though, through no fault of my own that the average citizen has expressed a preference for Sokolov Elixir over my own formula, sold as Pierrot's remedy. I name it, I did not choose, if you must know the truth. The public has spoken its usual message of idiocy, spending their coin as a means of selecting Sokolov's formula over mine, which I believe to be equal, if not superior. Much of which has been made over the popularity of these concoctions as a means of resisting this remarkable new plague. I say remarkable because this strain works with the efficiency we have not seen in the history of the Empire. This plague, now making its way through the city of Dunwall, is unrivaled in its effectiveness. I have studied it within the blood of those so afflicted, and it is nearly perfect, elegant in fact. And while it is true that Perro's remedy and Sokolov's elixir are known to protect the body against the plague equally, my own has properties not fully understood which relate to the mind itself and the spirit. And it is in that way that my formula wins out. Here is where one should pay attention to this contest. For you see, Sokolov elixirs with an emphasis on its brute animal body is crass goo better suited for livestock. The subtle and secret variants in the key ingredients making up Perro's remedy ensure that it works on higher functions that separate humankind from the mindless blue-jawed hagfish swimming in the Rin-Haven River. No, I will not sign off these purchases. A bag of powdered crystal, Tavianora? What's wrong with the metals and crystal? King Sparrow feathers? If you need feathers, sacrifice your own pillow. Maybe at the Academy everything you needed was paid by tariff and handed out willy-nilly, but this is my bar, and what's left of it. We're operating on a budget. We're running low on oil, food, elixir, building materials, and everything else, so you've got to slow down. While I'm footing the bill, I will not approve your purchases unless they're absolutely required. No more copper wire or special herbs. If you need those things, go out and scavenge them. Half the city's in ruins, so no one's going to miss any of that odd shit you seem to need. Admiral Havelock. I will drop this shit.
Perfect. Now plug it in. Perfect. Thank you, Cole. Here, see? The assassin's mask. You're a wanted man, so everyone in the city knows your face, but this mask will mean terror to them. If you just hold still, the fit must be precise. There. Can you see normally? Send the lens out of alignment. There. Better now? I could create more for you. Upgrades for your gear, weapons, munitions. But our situation here is desperate. Scavenge the city for valuables and I will resell them on the black market. That should give us the money to craft the things you need. Tell me what I can make for you.
Let's have a look. Fucking fantastic. Now we figure out what we can do with coins. A trap that can be placed on nearly any surface. Spring razor. Allows you to rewire circuitry and turn security system to your advantage. The rewire tool. Grenades. Nice. Oh wait. I saw upgrades. Go back.
You must be exhausted. I advise that you get some sleep.
Oh, I am kind of tired.
Your life will be even more difficult soon. You should rest while you can. Very well. You know best. Let me know if you need anything more. Tell me what I can make for you.
Let's see upgrades here. Now we're talking. Mask optics allow you to magnify your view. Bullet capacity, bolt capacity. Makes the sword more effective when locking blades and pushing against an enemy. Faster and further. I like crossbow range. Now I can shoot people from further away. That wraps it up for this video, folks. Stay tuned for more Dishonored. Thank you for watching. Like the video, goddammit! Like! I need more likes!